think it's really hard to sum up Modulus in a quick phrase.
Modulus III happened by accident. It's been a series of accidents ever since.
For me, it's always been very conversational. Somebody will start playing and somebody will react and somebody else will comment on that with a sound, and that'll change the conversation in a different direction.
It's also very democratic. It's like a sort of democratic language that forms in the moment.
We've all had such different backgrounds. Drew's had a very classical background. Dan's had an educated background, classical stuff, lots of improv and lots of rock and funk. And I'm the uneducated one. You know, I've taught myself, and we like to blur the lines a bit. We just want to make music.
I've known Matt Brown for an awfully long time as a drummer. For me, and also in Bristol, there's sort of common knowledge. He is one of the most original drummers, I think, to have come along in quite some time.
If I could take a pill and suddenly have the ability to play drums, I would want to play like Matt Brown. Just has that instinctual connection to groove and rhythm and curiosity and feel that is just really fun to play with.
Modulus III started, actually, it was a gig with me and Dan. We were doing a gig in Bristol as a trio, but not as Modulus.
The bass player dropped away.
So we decided we're not going to pull the gig, we'll just improvise.
And after the gig, Drew saw it, said, "Can I join your band?" And we just said, "Yeah, of course."
We just met up in a room, didn't talk, and just played, just to see if we're all on different wavelengths, because improvised music can go in very different places. Within about 5 minutes of playing, I was like, yeah, it's gonna work.
We were into sound very quickly, and we just made sound together and played for a while.
Drew is the cellist and synthesizer player for Modulus III, and he's brilliant. Was introduced to me by a mutual friend, and we had a coffee, and the coffee turned into a beer, and that beer turned into another beer, and we just started talking about music, and he started talking about all these things that I didn't know about, and it was like, my goodness me, this is fascinating.
Drew is one of the most hard-working, inspiring people I know. He's just an all-round badass. Drew Morgan.
I think improvising, there is an element of freedom, there's an element of being playful. You know, where we are in our lives affects the music, the environment, everything. Luckily, the music we can completely change based on those differences as well. So yeah, we thought, I mean, the big priority at the moment is, I think Dan's not totally in love with his sonic situation yet.
Did you want to put this riff in as well? Okay, so we're all listening.
Dan Moore is one of my favorite musical characters I've ever met. His approach to sound and his love of music and musicians is wonderful.
He's helped me a lot and educated me a lot. Whether he knows it or not, I've learnt a lot from him. He's been incredibly good to me. I wouldn't be where I am now without Dan Moore.
I think when Modulus III is playing live, I think we celebrate our differences rather than make them a problem. And what Modulus III does is it allows us to explore whatever we happen to arrive at in the moment. Sometimes it stops at exactly the same point, and we haven't communicated anything to one another, but we all stop at the same time. You know, it's kind of quite weird when that happens.
For me, there's a huge element of trust. And if I'm ever at a point where I'm thinking, oof, I don't know where to take this, somebody will chime in with something. It's almost like a spoken conversation, but with sounds.
Trust is the key. It is so important, and it means you can be completely free within your decisions. And I know that we can go anywhere we want. I'm excited to see where it takes us. I mean, it's not just us in a studio, we've got a live audience as well.
There is a good interaction between the audience and us. The feeling is very much of a sort of collective experience, and that this moment is only going to last right now. And that for me is extraordinarily important. We've all arrived at this point where the music is happening, and we don't know how we got there. The fact that we don't know how we got there is the thing that's beautiful about it.
And there's something about us getting on stage knowing that this could fall apart in any second, at any second. I always think of like the circus, you see people on the tightrope. You know, they could fall. The band's not about an individual showing off. It's about what we can create together as a three-piece, connecting to what it is to be an emotional human being. And there's no wrong or right music except for music with intention or without intention. And when we're listening to it and we're playing with intention to connect or to react, then we're doing it right. And that's a really lovely way to make music.